I don't take content creation serious. I never have. I always try to have a fun time. And Hypno, he's tried his best to defend me, and I'm very appreciative of that. Yes, a lot of regulars on SNH don't like the fact that I speak my mind, because it does make them uncomfortable, and I find it funny that it makes them uncomfortable.
Since I failed in my debate about ethics versus efficiency against Hypno and Leon, I was curious how this guy, Mike Hollow, never heard of him before, how he would do. Wasn't planning on making a recording on this, but if I'm going to sit through this, I have some opinions on things being said here. So I'll try to leave in the necessary context for my commentary on this so-called debate here with Smash and Reality Based, who I followed ever since he shouted out a couple of people that I used to stream with.
Because I want to give like a third-party perspective here. Because I am on the panel, I am a regular, and I do know Ryan, and I do know the group. And to Ryan's point, he does make it uncomfortable, but it's also like, that's just Ryan, just a crazy lovable idiot that says stupid stuff, and we all call him out for it all the time. The stream in question was clipped with 28 seconds for things, and it was trying to.
Is it just me, or is Smash trying to keep a smile off his face? And these words sort of run hollow. I watched a bit of this before I decided to do anything with it.
To make him look as bad as possible, completely out of context. And I don't like how it puts me in a position of trying to defend what Ryan said, because I like I said from the beginning, I don't agree with how he was handling himself and what he was saying, but I will always trump that with, he's allowed to say what he wants to say, and I'm not going to try to silence or direct how someone talks. That's not my place. Like, he wasn't speaking directly to you. He was saying it broadly to someone else or of someone else, not you. So Abu Bakr could definitely be taking offense to it, is my point. Everyone else that hears it could be taking like a second party offense to it, but it's not like offensive directly to you, but could be. So my point being is, I feel like there's a lot of people there not getting fake outrage, but are getting more upset over this than really is necessary, especially when you combine it with a very important second part of this, which is, no one says a goddamn thing about Ryan and the stupid shit he always says about every race, every nationality, and every goddamn thing he says on every Saturday Night Hypnosis. But for some reason, this was the thing. And it's like, what about everything else? Does nobody else care about all the other protected classes?
First of all, how does the context help with that? Second of all, that's literally a whataboutism. He just did a whataboutism.
IAZW.
How many times? I'm sorry to interrupt you, Smash. How many times have I said the term tranny demon? How many? No one.
There's the laugh I was talking about.
I went through Hypnotic's streams. I was speaking to Hypnotic earlier, and I went through his streams. I didn't catch any of these jokes. I'm not saying that you didn't make them or they haven't happened, but what I'm trying to understand now is that Ryan's just said to me that he doesn't take any of this seriously. It's all a joke. So are you saying that all of the videos that you upload, all the commentary that you do on this whole topic, whether it be politics or what's going on in games, you're just having a laugh?
I speak my mind on topics and people that I enjoy, whether it's in terms of my thoughts, suggestion videos. All I'm doing is giving my opinion, and I live in a country just like you, Mike, where speaking your mind can be a...
How is that an answer to his question?
Crime. And to that I say, fuck it. Speak your mind and stand by reality based.
And with
you
that,
can speak your mind, but you have to understand that with free speech, people can retaliate against you. And I've not called for your cancellation. I don't know if anyone has called for your cancellation. I certainly didn't. But as far as I could see, you guys are talking about a topic that gamers find quite serious. But the minute that people call you up on it, now it's a joke. So all of the commentary that you do on your channel should be considered a joke, basically satirical.
Well, I mean, I'm
not talking about you, Smash. I'm talking directly to Ryan. I'm trying to understand.
Okay, that's perfectly fine. I've platformed hundreds of content creators as rising stars. Is that a joke? No, because none of this is scripted. None of this is fake or synthetic. I speak my mind. And if you enjoy what I have to say, absolutely fine. If you don't, okay, I'll keep on going and I'll keep on growing.
Let me ask you a question then, Ryan. If you were talking to Abu Bakr Salim in person, right? And let's say you cut him up and then you turn around, standing right next to you and you say, I'm going to let this darkie finish. Would you say that to him in person? Be honest.
I've said the term publicly and privately. Everything I have said publicly, I have said privately.
To his face.
Yes, to his face.
You would talk to another man like that, another black man. You'd say, I'll let you finish, darkie. Are you being serious?
Yes, I am being serious, and I stand by what I say.
To be honest with you, I'll be completely real. I don't think he would do that. We've seen Sweet Baby Inc. make racist remarks about white people, right? Pointed them out, and we said, you shouldn't be talking about white people like this. They seem to think that it's okay to make disparaging remarks. I'm pretty sure you probably have, because you're tuned into what's going on, that you've seen the remarks they've made. So I don't understand why people would make videos pointing out the remarks they make, and they try to paint it up like it doesn't matter because it's white people, which we all know is stupid. And then you're confused why black people saw what you were saying when you were talking about something that is heavily centered around race, and the guy already thinks that people are out to get him because of his race, and then you add to it, and then you wonder why people are like, this guy's a racist. You can't be surprised that people reacted that way.
I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Let them think that. It's no skin off my back. Thin skin don't win the mind. It's as simple as that. I will speak my mind on topics of the day. I've been on Saturday Night Hypnosis 83 weeks in a row, and I always said, 83 weeks, folks. That's what I want to hit. And suddenly, on the 83rd appearance, this kind of controversy happens. Now, I don't believe in fate, but that's a bit too coincidental. And I look forward.
This is going to be happening a lot. Again, we'll link this down below. You can watch it in full. Mike Hollow here. Ask a question, sometimes multiple times, before getting an answer. And then Reality Based here goes on this long, unrelated tangent.
To being on the next episode. I look forward to talking to Jay, the concept. You're not an American. I'm not an American. We are both British. We are subject to different rules and regulation. Cancel culture is a far bigger phenomena in our part of the world than it is, say, in the US. All the more reason for me to speak my mind, to speak truth to power, and to never apologize. I mean, look at Asmongold. He apologized. I'm not apologizing.
No, you seem to have this idea that apologizing makes you weak.
It does.
I'm not even telling you to apologize for that. Quite frankly, I don't care what you do. You think that saying sorry as an absolute makes you weak. That idea in itself is weak. Everyone makes mistakes. The fact that you can't say sorry really speaks volumes about your character.
Look at the various examples of people apologizing and compromising on the internet. Asmongold is a great example.
Why are we looking at other people? We're talking to each other. I don't care about other people.
It's an example.
I'm talking to you. And you realize yourself, I kind of fucked up. But because you have this idea that it makes you weak, because you think that the people watching are going to see you.
I got to interrupt that because you're saying he's thinking he kind of fucked up. And I would argue this is the same Ryan with every show that talks like this. So why?
No, that's not what I'm saying, Smash. I'm saying just in general, you could forget the show. Let's say 10 years from now, Ryan says something where he believes I've made a mistake here. But in his mind, he's thinking to himself, if I say sorry, everyone's going to see me as weak. But doesn't that idea in itself make you weak-minded?
But you're fixating on the apology, and I'm backing it up before we even get to the apology, saying that he does, in this case, he feels like this is who he is. He's speaking his mind. He does not feel like in this instance he made a mistake. He is speaking the way he always does in all of them. And you're saying he needs to apologize for that.
That's not what I said. I didn't say he needs to. I just said I don't care if he apologizes or not. His apology is meaningless to me. I'm just saying the idea that you would never say sorry about anything in your life. Forget about what just happened just now. He just said apologizing makes you weak.
Absolutes, though. Like that.
No, I'm not.
What Mike is saying is real simple. Never apologizing as a general principle in an absolute manner, as Reality Base is sort of portraying it, trying to justify that with the example of Asmongold as his cope, is a stupid position to take. It's like they're not listening to what Mike is saying, but more reacting to how the internet is sort of reacted to what's being shared.
Makes you weak, and that's it. That's an absolute.
And you're saying in this instance, you're not apologizing for this, and now you're saying no, he needs to apologize for something.
No, I'm not saying that. He might go through his life and never do anything wrong. That saying sorry makes you weak. He just won't say sorry no matter what, and he thinks that he'll be perceived as a weakling.
It's a good point. It's a really good thought, because what happens if society has shown us that even if you are sorry for something, by actually admitting it and feeling weak about it, you will get dogpiled and get destroyed. I'm not saying this is how Ryan feels. I'm just saying it's the mantra that's been created because of cancel culture. So everyone is like, no, I do not regret anything because I know how they act when I do that.
That's called being disingenuous, Smash.
That watch you, that I'm not saying that, I'm not even insinuating that you have anything to apologize for, but I'm just saying that.
Oh, and I'm not saying I'm Ryan. I'm not above apologizing.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying in general, apologize. The problem that I find is that there's people like Alyssa McCanty who are paying attention to what you're doing. Maybe Abu Bakr is, and I think that is constantly in the back of your mind, or in the back of Ryan's mind, that if I say this, these people have got one over on me. And to me, it's just like, they don't really matter at the end of the day. If I feel like I did something wrong, I could give two shits what Alyssa McCanty or anybody writes about me. The fact that I would care so much is what would make me a weak person. But at the end of the day, if Asmongold really felt like he did something wrong, and he wasn't just doing it so that he could get the negative attention of him, then I don't think he was wrong in apologizing.
I speak in absolute because that's how the internet works. If you bend the knee once, you'll do so again and again and again. You cannot compromise your way out of tyranny. So why not
the knee to?
The woke mob who are trying to cancel me for saying the statement that I have made? First, they try to cancel Hypno, then they tried to cancel Smash. I know it's not really about me because it took 3 days for fuckers to actually come after me.
That's actually a really good point too. When it happened, the only people that were getting heat from it is me and Hypno, and we're
Grums.
And Grums,
that's because you and Hypno have a big following, so they're going to go after the head honcho.
But in that, you're explaining what the problem is here. It's not about what he said that's the problem. It's that they want to take down people that they disagree with. And anyone that platforms people that they disagree with means they automatically agree with them. Ergo, we need to cancel all of them. And it's a very dangerous, slippery slope.
But how does that make their cancellations any more powerful? If you genuinely did something worth canceling you over, right, then you saying sorry doesn't change that. Like, if you did something in the eyes of YouTube, they'll take you down anyway.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. I guess the question comes with the gray area of what is cancelable, what in the eyes of YouTube in terms of service breaking, because like Ryan was saying, like he's just speaking his mind. And now we have a third party, the overlord Google, deciding what's acceptable for society to allow. And that.
Let me stop you there, Smash. I know people hate to hear this, but Google does get to decide what's on their platform. I think more the problem is the lack of transparency when they make those decisions there. Because just like these guys are trying to make money off of this, Google is doing the same exact thing, or at least trying. I think they're still in the red overall. With YouTube as a platform, that might have changed in recent years. How many ad apocalypses have we had so far? I count 2. There probably has been some that I missed.
But he's not really speaking his mind, though, is he? Because he just said that he won't apologize regardless because of the woke mob. So really, you're stamping your feet in the ground because you believe there's an army of people where if you do say sorry, they're going to take you down.
Well, it's twofold. I think he really does mean what he said, and he speaks in absolutes. And in addition to that, he wouldn't apologize even if he didn't, because he doesn't want to apologize to the woke mob. But I don't want to put words in his mouth. That's what I understood from what he's saying.
Perfectly fine. The way Smash describes it is perfectly fine. I do not regret what I have stated, and I will stand by what I have said, come what may.
I mean, what you said really had no actual bearing on moving the conversation forward, other than making.
This is Mike. This is another. This is Ryan. Very often, I've been on a lot of SNHs.
We know that spear chucker is used as a slur towards Africans, right? It's meant to describe a primitive African.
All people chuck spears. You're inferring that. You're making an assumption.
I'm not inferring that. That's what the slur is used for, right? We could put up any slur here.
I mean, I'll be honest. I personally, people are saying it's a slur. I've never heard it used as a slur in my life until after
Ryan's heard it. That's why he said it. He didn't think of that out of thin air. He knew what he was doing. You knew it was a slur, and that's why you said it.
Well, he also said.
Let's not feign ignorance now.
No,
I mean,
no, 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 no. It's fair.
I'm not talking about you, Smash. I'm
No,
saying
no, I
he
know.
knows what it means.
I know, but let me try to conversation just a little bit. I'm not trying to move the goalposts here, but would you feel like it's a fair assessment for me to take the position of it feels like you're trying to control what someone else is allowed to say because
No, I'm not
words
trying
are
to control.
offensive?
No, they can say whatever they want. As I said, it's a Hypnotic show. Hypnotic can have whoever one he wants. I spoke to Hypnotic today, and we had a conversation. I told him as well in the voice messages, you do what you want on your show. I'm just saying, if you do stuff on the show, people are going to watch it and they're going to retaliate. I have not called for the censorship of anyone. I have not called for the censorship of Ryan, the one I had the biggest problem with. But I had my thoughts on it. I think that you guys can say whatever you want, just like Sweet Baby Inc. or Alyssa McCann. They can say whatever they want, and I have the right to retaliate.
No, it's fair.
I think that's fair.
Yes, that's fair. I just don't know how Smash got his sort of moving of the goalpost that he attempted to do, which Mike countered rather effectively.
That's fair.
And I've also used the term brownie. In fact, to respond to what someone said in the chat, because I first heard the term brownie in regards to a fine fellow creator I interacted with, and they're actually of European origin. So yes, I would use that term as well, folks. There's nothing wrong with speaking your mind. The cream of the crop rises to the top. Mike has done very well, especially over the past year. He's resonated with about 14,000 people, and he's got 14,000 subscribers over the course of a year. And he's resonating with people and speaking his mind. I've built a modestly sized.
I have to point out, just because it's resonating with the audience, does that mean you should do it yourself?
As I say, it takes all sorts to be a content creator. Let the people decide whether I'm correct or incorrect in these statements.
I'm not, but the people can make up whatever minds they want. I'm not even reading the chat. They're well within their right to have their own opinions. This is my opinion. It wasn't formed from anybody else. That's why I didn't ask Smash to have anybody else on the show to back me up. These are all my own thoughts. I just don't really understand when we point out that they've made plenty of racist remarks about white people, right? If you're a straight white male, you get basically lynched by these guys. They talk down to them. And I think people have rightly pointed it out. We're talking about Sweet Baby Inc. and then you're throwing racist jokes in there. So this might be your personality, right? But I do think that context matters. You should be able to look at the optics of the situation. Now, you've just said to me that this is all a joke to you anyway. This whole DEI thing is not serious. So I don't even know what to do with that anymore. If you're not taking any of this serious, and what is the point of people even listening to you commentate on it if you don't even believe in what you're talking about?
Amen, brother. Context matters and credibility matters. There are sometimes it's fine to joke. Hell, there's times to bait, in my opinion. Sometimes presenting yourself as low-hanging fruit can yield interesting results in response. What people do when no one's paying attention to you. That sort of logic there. Comparison to when all eyes are on you, which is the position Hypnotic and everyone on his Saturday night hypnosis is starting to get. Hence why it's probably smarter the bigger you get to consider the optics of what you're doing online.
I understand the consequences of this continuing in regards to diversity, inclusivity, and equity. DIE, as it was originally called. The fact some of the people on the panel are more moderate and more reformist. They want to reform pop culture to make it great again. And there are those like myself and a few others on the panel who are more radical, who want the entertainment industry to burn and for it to be replaced with something, hopefully, that's better. And I leave it to the chat, to the people watching to decide who resonates with who the most. I don't want to control what people say. I don't want to control what you say.
This is very informative. No wonder I don't like their content. It's like politics. Doesn't matter who has the better plan for reforming or rebuilding back up entertainment from the ashes. The people in Ryan's view, at least it seems like, who will be tasked with doing that are the people who are the most popular, who resonate the best with the audience.
But I understand that our opposition will do whatever it takes to destroy all of us. And if we throw each other under the bus just to protect ourselves, to be better, you last.
I'm not looking at this as I'm playing for a team. They're not my opposition. There's some of them do things I don't like, and some of them I don't really care about. I'm not playing for a team. You're playing for a team, and so you'll sit there while somebody else maybe is doing something you don't agree, but simply because they're on your side, you won't say anything to them. I can't respect that.
That's the crux of our disagreement. I don't believe it's possible for us to agree to disagree and move on with an entertainment establishment that is destroying our popular culture with failure after failure after failure after failure. The correlation between these falling franchises, these groups, these organizations, these people who have infected the industry and destroying some of our favorite franchises. If that doesn't piss you off and make you want to burn those down to replace it with something better, and gaming as well, Sail, great in the chat. Many gaming projects. In fact, I've got a few examples in this black book.
Yes, I moved on and I criticize certain people when I feel they're unfairly attacking a certain property, especially from just the marketing. Because sometimes the marketing is very deceptive and not representative of the final product.
No.
But I don't think anyone is arguing that we don't like what's going on in pop culture. I think what people are arguing is that you weren't making any controversial statements that challenged the status quo. You were just saying racist shit.
I don't want to back it up again and say this again, but just to be clear, what got clipped is how you found out about it. Would you feel the same way if someone clipped Ryan saying off-color jokes about an Indian person in episode 22? Would you be making this much of a stink about it, or is there something specific that he said that really hit different here for you?
Well, I didn't react to the single clip. In my video that I put up,
no, I didn't say you reacted to. I said how you found out about it.
Yeah, I found out about it, and then when I saw it, I said, okay, I'll go and look at the whole thing for myself. When I initially saw it, I didn't put the clip up. I had watched the podcast first before I retweeted what was on Twitter, because I did obviously did my OBS recording and then edited it down to what was relevant, and then I posted it.
I feel like you're containing.
I feel like he did his due diligence. He got the context for the clip. And I don't know for sure, that Smash here is trying to obfuscate all this. But watch it for your own and decide on your own.
What he said to last week's episode.
And what that's what we're talking about now. We can move on from it. There was plenty in there. Thanks. I accordingly. Now, if Chris Kindred was doing the exact same thing that Ryan was doing, I can bet you £100 that everybody on this side of the conversation will be making videos about it. So I don't see why it's treated differently.
That's fair. I think that goes into more of a historical, like, take the whole picture of who he is in addition to what transpired, where I feel like nobody even knows who Ryan is and they're just taking it out of context.
That's why I wasn't targeted first. 3 days. As soon as this controversy happened, folks, my instinct whenever I get criticism is simple. Just ignore it and it'll pass. They went after Hypno. They went after Smash. They went after Grums.
You asked if Ryan is sorry for anything. And I don't want to put words in Ryan's mouth, but I think he'd agree with this. He's not sorry for what he said. He might be sorry for the fallout for how it affected Hypno and anyone else.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Hypno doesn't deserve to face this kind of criticism, but he thrives off of it. He loves the Streisand effect from it. So let him do it. Let him do it.
So technically you can apologize. I just want to be clear. We don't want to find out where your apologies
from a practical standpoint, Hypno has stood by me in this situation when he could easily have thrown me under the bus to avoid this controversy. Yeah, let's just sacrifice Ryan, get someone on more talented who could do far better. But that's not how Hypno works. He stands by people who stand by him, and I am very, very grateful for that.
Well, he also stands by allowing people the freedom of saying what they want to say. And even if it doesn't make sense, or even if it's not, if it's someone that is consistent, contributes, and is knowledgeable about the situation like you are, I think it makes sense for him to want to be there for you.
And it's not just that factor, though. I mean, I was the one.
As long as you're on his team.
Who introduced you to Hypno Smash. I was also one of the first content creators to inform you, and the fact that you were criminally underrated. No one really pays any attention to the 538 Rising Stars videos I've made, each on separate creators, a one-dimensional aspect, because in reality, those who jumped on this bandwagon don't know me, and that's a great way of separating the wheat from the chaff.
You've just said that you stand by everything you say, so they don't have to look at anything else. This is exactly who you are. So that one video illustrated who you are.
Sure. 30 seconds defines
but
a
you
person.
just said that this is who you are. This is who I am. I don't say sorry.
Well, I would argue you're right.
Why do they need to look at anything else?
No, it's fair. I think that's fair, because that is who Ryan is. But I feel like they're taking it out of context and being like, oh, this society doesn't accept who he is. So because of that, what he did is wrong. I just feel like there's leaps. And I don't want to sound like I'm being an apologist for him.
You sort of are. And that's the social contract. That is liberalism. Personally, I would love it if humans could exist without the rules. But I think society, at least what we know as society, would completely break down. Ryan seems okay with that. I'm not sure Smash understands the consequences of that.
Drawing lines on how we're allowed to communicate, it's not a great road to go down. And
I've not drawn that line though, Smash. I've made it.
I'm not saying you. I'm sorry. I don't mean to say you are doing that. I'm saying that in general, the fallout from this situation is a lot of that. And that's the one thing we're trying to avoid. And I feel like this situation is a prime example of why it's so important to not be like that, where it's like, here's a situation where it's really not a big deal. And look how quick people are to try to cancel people, try to silence, try to make you talk a certain way, speak certain words, not say other ones. And it's like, they're words.
Aren't I facing said consequences right now?
I'm not saying you're facing them now, but I'm saying with free speech, there does come consequences sometimes. That's why I asked you, would you call him darky to his face? Because you're free to say it. But I don't think you're going to say it to another black man's face.
I'm not free to say that. I'm not free to say that in the United Kingdom. Free to say that in the United States. Yeah. I mean, this is, folks, as far as I'm aware, YouTube is an American platform. Smash JT is an American citizen, despite the fact that he's Latino. The platform we're on is American. So I am going to speak my mind.
Do you feel, Mike, that the punishment has fit the crime, or do you feel like it's been completely blown out of proportion with what's happened with this situation?
Nothing's happened. Like, people have just criticized it. Nothing's happened.
Yes, that is correct. There has been really no consequences for this. Should there even be? I'm with Mike. I'm not the judge of that.
So I think that's completely fair. That this guy, he probably doesn't like you very much. Can we agree on that based on what you said? You saw what he said on Twitter, right?
No, because I didn't pay any...
Okay, well, I'm just letting you know he doesn't like you very much. I'm saying to you that you were very comfortable making those remarks behind the monitor, but I'm asking you in person, forget the UK laws now, would you, away from the police and the law, feel comfortable standing in front of somebody else and talking to them like that?
Yes.
I did not. I found it to be very fake, even though it was about his father passing.
Even if it was scripted, why is it fake?
Because I felt like he was trying to play on people's emotions to sell a game.
But okay, put yourself in his shoes, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say that, God forbid, touch wood, that something happened to one of your loved ones, and you wanted to immortalize them in your game. There'll be nothing wrong with you going on stage and talking about that process.
Yeah, no, that's fine. And
so I'm trying to understand, at what point did you catch a lie?
How it was presented. I felt it was an acting job.
But he's an actor, so he's going to emphasize what he's talking about.
Right.
This debate gave me lots to think about. Some of it will be in this video I hope to cut. Some of it won't. But I will encourage everyone interested in this sort of subject matter to go take a look at this debate and think about this a little bit. There should be certain limits placed upon people. YouTube as a platform, demonetizing content for things that YouTube cannot monetize, advertisers do not want to go near, is not against free speech. Free speech is about the government restricting speech. Now, there's problems with the government trying to impose rules on social media that you can have a disagreement with, but that's a totally different matter. As I said, I really appreciated this debate, and despite me personally not trusting Smash JD as a person, I don't really know him. I only know him via what people say about him and what's factually out there about him. So maybe he is genuinely being honest. Same thing with reality based here, but I'm with Mike on this. I really don't think he would say this shit to someone's face, but we could both be wrong on that. With that said, I'm done.